Hey everybody, so today's episode it's called The Crossing. It is episode 9 of season 2. So this episode has a lot to unpack, but honestly, Sid had bought a mine for the purpose of excavating it for Ipsium. Ipsium is really valuable. We don't know what it's actually used for, at least it's not mentioned in the episode, but we do find out that in its raw form, Ipsium is very combustible, and it's described as like a prime thermal detonator. So as we start the show or the story, um, they hear thunder in the distance. So there's a storm that's and it's going to be ever present throughout this episode. And you know they're bickering a little bit because they're a man down because Echo's gone. So Wrecker and Omega stand lookout. Hunter and Tech go in to look at things. Um, One thing leads to another. Omega goes in to help them because she's small. Wrecker's supposed to keep a lookout. They know there's these scavengers, and yeah, so they get their ship stolen. This is really big. They get their ship stolen, and they're blaming Wrecker. Um, and so now that their ship's gone, now they gotta go to a nearby spaceport that was about 40 clicks away from their location. Tech said, and so they have to secure transport. They've lost long range communications. So along the way, they they're in this valley with uh, the ground rebels, and they find out it's like a stampede of wild animals, and they're running from the storm. But yeah, so they have to get to safety as quickly as possible so they don't get killed. So there's a conveniently a ledge there. They use grapplers. They all get up there. Wrecker has to jump right back down into the stampede to collect, grab the Ipsium case because if the animals destroy it, then everybody dies, and that's not good. Um, so the stampede goes, passes, and Wrecker's all angry because he's been carrying it, and he's like, Tech, well, why don't you carry it? It's your turn, right? So Tech agrees to carry it as they're going into this cave. All of a sudden, the storm comes up real fast on them, and so in the rush of trying to get up there quicker, Tech drops it, and right as soon as they get in and the door closes, the storm picks up the canister of Hypsium, throws it right up against the canyon wall, and now they're barricaded. So anyway, so they get inside. Now they're all angry at each other. First, they're angry at Wrecker because Wrecker got the ship stolen. Now, and then they're angry at Tech because Tech got him barricaded because he dropped the doggone box. And while they're bickering, Omega's just going through something because she's not happy about anything. I mean, understandably, she misses Echo. Now the ship's gone. Like she doesn't. She's 15 years old. She doesn't cope very well with loss. So Tech doesn't really connect very well with, well, anybody really. I mean, he's what, a few notches above being a droid basically. But anyway, he uh, ticks Omega off. She storms off, wants to be alone, and so they end up. Tech gets pushed into going to apologize, going to check up on her, and they end up going through this adventure after she had found a huge deposit of Ipsium. But they go on this adventure through the caves. As she's trying to extract the last little bit of Ipsium, because their goal was to use a little bit of it to blow the entrance so they can get back out. Instead, they fall into the cavern, into this abyss because her arms are too short to reach the last little bit that she needs to extract. She drops her tool. She falls down. Hunter, or not Hunter, but Tech goes after her. Um, they go on a wild ride, and then all of a sudden they're able to get comms again, and because Hunter's trying to reach them because he's figured out something's not right. Um, so Hunter and Wrecker grab their stuff. Tech tells them how to navigate this cavern, and they do it. I mean, Wrecker's not happy at all because he hates stuff like that. But they end up rejoining, and so they manage to blow up the wall. So they used a little bit of the Ipsium to. There's this wall that's got a hole in it, and it goes right out to the outside. And all they needed was a little Ipsium to blow it up. So they Wrecker wanted to take the shot, but Tech said no. Um, it has to be shot precisely so it doesn't kill us all, essentially. So as they get out, um, they see the spaceport off in the distance. They're a lot closer now. Um, but the problem is that spaceport doesn't seem to have a whole lot of activity. And so they get to the spaceport, they find out that it's not only abandoned, it's been abandoned for a while, but there's a long range communications tower that they can use. So they go in. The first person they try to reach is Sid, and trying to beg Sid for help. And at first, Sid just doesn't want to care. Like she's treating them like they're expendable. Um, Tells them, "Well, I didn't ask you to get your ship stolen," and Tech points out to her all the times that they've saved her hide, and she's like, "Oh, you don't have to tell me everything. Give me a few days." And so, as Tech's trying to explain, we don't have a few days, we're almost out of rations. The transmission cuts, most likely because the storm's approaching the spaceport. And at this point in the scene, we see that, well, it cuts to the credits. The story is over. So, what do you think about this week's episode? They got their ship stolen. They are now hopefully getting help from Sid. So hopefully next week we'll find out how they get rescued, what happens next. Does Sid get the Epsium? Do they get a new ship? Do they get their ship back? Are we gonna see Echo and Rex come to the rescue? I mean, there's so many questions, and I love a good cliffhanger. So I will be back next week and talk about the ending of this story. And I don't know, maybe they'll stretch it across multiple stories, but that just doesn't seem to match with the format and the spirit of this show. But hey, it's a good story. It's really excited to see what's next. What do you guys think? Just post in the comments. Tell me what you think.